Welcome to Rat Girls Podcast. I'm Abigail Jensen, and today we are joined by Dr. Donna Oriowo. She is a sex and relationship therapist and the author of Drink Water and Mind Your Business. Donna, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited. Where are you Zooming from?
I'm in the DMV area, the M specifically. I'm in Maryland, but DC
Okay.
is the street.
I love DC. I've only been to DC once, and it was like, I think I just fell in love with like a city with public transportation.
Where are you?
I'm in LA, so it's like the car is
I hear
key.
they have public transportation.
Well,
I just hear it's not that great.
Yeah. It's hard. Everything's very spread out here. And I don't know, DC, I went the weekend of do you remember the Parkland students? They had like March for Our Lives, like that rally against guns.
When was
Like
that?
it was like 2017 maybe. And so I went for the rally. And so it felt like, oh my God, we're a part of history. Celebrities are there. I saw Karamo on the street. Like I was like, DC's awesome.
DC's not always like that. Mostly it's traffic and traffic. Ooh, traffic.
And traffic. How did you end up there? Like, and is your clientele, do you see people in DC?
I do. I was born here. I was
Oh,
born in DC, went to DC, and then Prince George's County Public Schools. I did move, and I said I was never coming back, and then I came back. I lack conviction. You'll notice that. I fell back in love with the area, and I couldn't imagine not living here. So now I live here. Like
yeah.
for real. So yes, I have clients in DC and Maryland. I used to see Virginia clients, and then I was just like, those requirements were one requirement too many. So I just see DC and Maryland now.
That's the thing with like therapy. It's like they kind of didn't they get rid of that during COVID? They let people see people over state lines for a little bit and then
They
sort
sort of
of.
got rid of it. Not like fully, and it's definitely back in full effect now. But some therapists are getting like interstate compacts. So you could see some, like, as long as the state signs up for the compact, you'll be able to see several people in several states.
Gotcha. Because my therapist I met during COVID, she did not. I hope I'm not out. No one knows who she is. HIPAA, me protecting my therapist. But I met her during COVID. We didn't live in the same state. And now, like, we still see each other, but she's quote unquote my life coach if any questions arise.
Life coach.
Life coach.
Understood. And a lot of people, that's also why they go to coaching, because they don't want to deal with the stringent sort of state to state parameters that says that you can or you can't see somebody because they live 5 minutes from you, but on the wrong side of the line.
Yeah, especially where you're at, where like the states are also close to each other.
Oh, stupid close. Like when I say across the street, people think that I am exaggerating. DC is across the street.
Right. And
like if I step right out of my neighborhood and then go across the street, that's DC. That's a 7-minute walk, and that's if you're going a little slow. So when I go on a walk around my neighborhood, I often walk into DC and then walk back home.
Right. You're like a world traveler just within 7 minutes.
Yeah. I was just like, I just needed to visit another state today.
Yes. How did you get into the sex therapy part of things? Like, why did that call you?
People kept telling me their business. Something about my face. I think it's something about my face. So people just come and they tell me things, and I'm just like, I don't know if I wanted to know this, but now that I do, here's my thought. And then I thought, you know what? I should get trained. If I'm going to be talking to people about their sex lives anyway, might as well get trained. So when I saw Meet the Fockers for the first time, I was just like, wait, is this real? Whoa. So I looked it up. It was real. And I saw that the certifying body for sex therapists, AASECT, the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists, that they had a relationship with a school, Widener University in Pennsylvania. So I decided I was going to Widener. It was either that or Teach for America. So
great.
Because I didn't apply to any other school.
I love that you're like, I want to learn so I'm like doing this correctly, but also like you deserve to get paid if you're giving all a ton of people advice.
It was a good educational experience, and I'll say that like I definitely learned a lot that I'm applying, and I had to learn
Mm.
some stuff on the way that I have now applying as well.
Yeah, that's great. And then, so how did, because we met each other through Emily, how did you get hooked up with Emily Nagoski?
You know, I sit in that a lot. I don't even know. I don't even know. I think at some point we followed each other on the internet, and then I'd heard from some people that like, yeah, Emily Nagoski, recommended you for this thing, and I'm just like, come as you are, right? I was just like, come as you are, Emily. Like,
Like me?
what? I was just like, I will look into that. And then we did get to finally meet, be in space together, and I was just like, oh, this is lovely.
I love that. I love the sex therapy community. I love how positive everyone is, how open everyone is. It's just a really like understanding place. Do you feel that when you're like around other sex therapists or sex people in the industry?
Some of them. Some of them not so much. Some of them are for the sewers.
Some of them that might be your sewer rant later.
Uh-huh. That it could be my sewer rant later. I don't know. But yeah, some of them are for the sewers. But a lot of them they're amazing, they're lovely, they're kind, they're funny, they're intelligent, they're thoughtful. And then some of them are disinterested, they're racist, they're classist, they're assholes who should probably remain silent and never speak again. Because I think it would do the world a lot of good if they would just shut up.
And probably not be therapists if they're like, that bias is, pushing through to like their clients.
And chances are it is pushing through to their clients.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
only so much you can hide.
Totally. And so your book is about self-esteem, which is our main cheese of the week, and it focuses on self-esteem specifically of Black women. Tell me how you like came up with this idea, like where is this from?
Oh my goodness. It came from someone else. Someone else approached me to write a book about self-esteem. And I was just like, I'm a sex therapist, sweetheart. And they're like, yeah, but your all of the stuff that you post about is about self-esteem. I was just like, is it? I was like, oh, I guess it is. I guess it is. So I did end up, I was just like, okay, I could write a book about this. And I I was surprised at how much I already knew because apparently I
Mm.
was doing this work. I just didn't see it that way because I was just like, oh, but it's firmly rooted in the sexuality.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, duh, yourself would be rooted in sexuality if you look at it only in that way. So I got to look at it in that way and then expand from there as well. And I was just like, oh yeah, it made perfect sense when I really took a deep look at my own social media. I've been talking about self-esteem in some way, shape, or form, even before I started really being serious about anything on social media. I've been talking about self-esteem since undergrad. So
Okay.
since I graduated in 2009, I've been talking about self-esteem, using the word self-esteem, but somehow let it go when I got to the sexuality piece. And I was just like, no, I'm talking about sexual esteem, sexual self-efficacy.
Interesting. How nice is it though to be like seen by someone who's like, "No, I see you and I see what you're talking about."
Oh, it felt so delightful because I think that when you're in your own work and you're in your own world, it's very easy to almost silo yourself. Like you
Yeah.
think you talk just about this one thing, and other people are taking from it so many other things. And I don't think I was paying much attention to what other people were receiving until someone told me, like, this is what I'm getting from you. This is the main thing it seems that you talk about. And I would love for you to talk about it more. I was just like, I don't talk about that. And it's like, no, you've been talking about this since 2000. Like when was my first study at undergrad? Like 2007, 2008. So I've also been talking about this for a very long time. What year
Yeah.
is this?
2025. Yeah, very long time. Like a full tween amount of time.
Yes, like that's a grown child who feeds themselves amount of
Yeah,
time.
they could babysit if they wanted to. And so how are self-esteem and sexual esteem connected? How when you first started looking into it, what did you see when you were research or like deciding what you're putting in your book?
Women with high self-esteem have higher sexual self-efficacy. And what that means is that they advocate for themselves better sexually. You're more likely to ask for what you want, say when you didn't like what you got, and be like, no, move to the left. Right? You're more likely to speak about what you want and you're less likely to take BS. So if you're getting something that you don't like, you're more likely to stop it, say like, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing, but not that." Right? You're
Yeah,
more likely to teach, which also means that you're more likely to have more orgasms.
which
You're
we
more likely
love.
to experience sexual pleasure. So the self-esteem and the sexual self-efficacy linked,
Yeah,
very, very closely linked.
interest. And what like is it like the chicken or the egg? Like does the self-esteem come first and then the bedroom come first or the bedroom and then the self-esteem?
They are both chicken and egg.
Okay.
So if you can increase the way that you feel about your sexual self-confidence, if you can increase that, you can also increase your self-esteem. But your self-esteem can also increase your sexual self-confidence. Really pick a starting point and go.
I love that. And so when you were researching your book, like where was the main source of low self-esteem within woman?
Low self-esteem. Well, number one, what I discovered is that self-esteem is on a spectrum. And we talk about it like it's on a binary. So we talk about it like you have it or you don't have it. It's not it's not that simple, right? So low vacant self-esteem, that's one that we often talk about, like low, you ain't got it, you really should go find some. And then high self-esteem is really like secure self-esteem, but
Mm,
in between there's damaged self-esteem and there's fragile self-esteem. So, damaged self esteem is basically how we pop our own balloons in life, how we tell ourselves no because we're like, well, I don't think I am smart enough, pretty enough, tall enough, cute enough, whatever enough to get that. So, I'm not going to try for that. Instead, I'll
wow.
try for this lesser thing. And a lot of us do that. We pop our own balloons. You don't apply for the job. You don't tell the person that you like them. You don't ask for the sex that you want, usually because you think that someone is going to find you unworthy of the thing that you're requesting. So
Wow.
you just don't request it. Fragile self esteem is basically it's social media. You live for the likes. Your
Mm,
whole personality becomes whatever it is that someone else wants you to be. So basically, you're like a people pleaser on crack in some ways. So it's like if someone says that, oh, I love the color yellow on you, then all you do now is wear yellow, right? It's, I like it when you do X. Now you're doing X all the time because you are trying to please that person
yeah.
and you live for their compliments. You live for their praise. Like your entire week is made if someone tells you you look nice today. Which I'm not saying that a compliment shouldn't make you feel good, but if it made your entire week, something's wrong with your week.
Yeah. That's so
Because then if they criticize you in the toilet, now you feel shitty about yourself.
that you're describing me.
You can't win if it's all about
Yeah. This is my and
them. Mother.
yeah, I'm like, "Oh, my people pleasing, like, is I totally struggle with people pleasing, and I wonder, like, for damaged and for fragile, like, wh what does that come from, like, early in life? D Have you seen anything, like, that corresponds with it?
It's being told that you're less than
Mm,
from the very beginning,
yeah.
right? So, number one, for most of us, parents sort of put into us this idea that children are meant to be seen, not heard, right? Like, so your voice doesn't matter. And that the way that you're seen has to be put together and a great reflection on them.
Mhm.
So now you know that mommy and daddy love you better, or mommy and mommy love you better, or daddy and daddy love you better, or auntie and uncle, whoever your caregivers are, they love you. They seem to like you better or love you better when you behave the way they want you to behave. So you learn to please. The first people that you probably people pleased was them,
Yeah.
because they didn't really want you to be that yourself. They wanted you to be a reflection of themselves, because parents love being able to say, this kid is so mature. Damaged self-esteem also can happen in childhood, usually by someone reminding you of your place. Like, oh, but you're a little girl, right? Like, you're a little girl. You're not supposed to do
Yeah.
this. You're not supposed to have this. You're not supposed to want this. You're supposed to be nice, right? So the performance of the niceties is like, it sort of balances between fragile and damaged, because the damaged piece is in here is that you are less than these other people and you need to behave as such. So you
Interesting.
might like yourself inside, but it doesn't translate outside, because you've been told that the world won't receive you that way. That little girls are supposed to be like this. For me, it was like a little dark skinned girl is supposed to be like this.
Mhm.
And though I didn't get it from my parents, I got it from the world outside. So people would say things like, oh, you acting light skinned. Like, that's now, like, that's a saying that people have now. You're acting light skinned, which is to remind you of what your place is as a dark skinned Black woman. People are
Interesting.
always trying to put you in your place. It damages your self-esteem. So you might like yourself on the inside, but it doesn't translate well outside. So you're quiet. You don't apply for the thing. You doubt yourself in that meeting. Someone asked you a question, you
Mhm.
know the answer, and you let somebody else answer. And if someone else gives the wrong answer, you know it's the wrong answer, you will still act like it's a question mark. You'd be
Wow.
like, that's not what I saw. Right? Like, instead of just
Yeah.
saying, oh no, that's incorrect, it's X. And you're like, well, in the email it said this. Has anything changed? Like, you we start doing a whole song and dance. Some of it is so that we can protect other people's egos, but some of it is because our own self-esteem has been damaged.
Wow. And then what about the people who have good self-esteem? Like, what environment are they raised in? What external factors are they, like, running into?
Secure parents who treated them as children, allowed them to grow up as children. Like, for those who are getting it when they're young, who are
Yeah.
told that they are lovely and smart and kind and can grow, right? So it's like growth mindset type stuff, as
Mm.
opposed to it's either you have it or you don't. It's, well, you don't know how to do this thing yet, but you're learning. Look at you learning. Go, you, go, child. Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Um, but it doesn't mean that just because your parents didn't give it to you that you can't still get it,
Okay.
right? Like, you can give it to yourself. It takes some time, but you can get it and give it to yourself. Your parents are just the usually the first introduction to
Mhm.
where you might land, and then it's up to you to pick up the gauntlet and move it where you want to go. But first you have to be aware that the gauntlet has been thrown down somewhere.
Yeah, so what's the first step once you, like, identify what kind of self-esteem that you have?
You have to acknowledge the ways in which it has shown up in your life.
Mhm.
People don't like that part. They want to skip that part. It's not to say sit in it, but it is to say, like, understand that, like, how has this manifested in your life? How does it show up with your friendships? How does it show up in your romantic relationships? How does it show up with your family? Right? You need to know what it is that is showing up in all these various relationships in the ways that it's showing up. Who are the people in your life that are reinforcing your place, whatever that
Mhm.
place may be? And do you want it to keep going like that? You have to make the determination, because just because you recognize that there is a problem doesn't mean that you're actually ready, willing, or able to change it in that moment. Sometimes we need housing, right? It's like, I don't want to talk shit to my mom because she might kick me out. Well,
Mm.
then be quiet. Maybe be quiet. Maybe you know it for yourself and you make a plan of action, but like, when your livelihood, when your ability to live
Yeah.
is going to be negatively impacted, now you have something to consider. You have to make a choice about what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, so that you can still be okay. Because
Yeah.
self-esteem and hunger probably don't go well together.
Wow. And in that scenario, do you sit on it and wait until the circumstances allow for you to, or do you build your self-esteem and maybe not approach the person that's in charge of your well-being like in that way, but you approach the rest of the world that way?
I've seen it done multiple ways.
Okay.
So some people will gently begin talking to the person who has hurt them, even if that person does sort of control like the purse strings, as it were, housing and all that other stuff. So instead of going like outright at them, they may make a decision for themselves. From this point on, I won't allow this, which means that now you have to make the person aware that they're doing it. So for me, I say have a gentle conversation. And for me, that means intent impact. So you might ask somebody, what was your intention in saying this thing that you said? The
Mm.
impact was that it made me feel quite shitty. And I wasn't sure if that was your goal. Because I mean, I know you love me and you know that I love you too. So I don't think that you want me to feel badly, but this did make me feel badly. Can we talk about it?
Yeah. I have to imagine this is
Sometimes it's
what.
setting the boundary.
Yeah. Okay. And then what does the boundary look like? Like, I'm going to walk away?
Yes. Setting boundaries, I think that people think of it as saying no or even fuck no to other people. And
Mm.
it's like, not like that. It's actually about the ways that you're saying yes to yourself. So, what do you want to say yes to for you? How do you want to be treated? How do you want to be talked to? How do you want to be seen? How do you want to be cared for? How do you want to be handled? Which means that now you have to say no to the way that someone is wanting to handle you that is outside of the barrier of that, right?
Mm.
Because the boundary is about helping you feel safe and sane. It's not about them, it's about you. So it's not about sticking it to them by telling them no. It's about saying no because it is for your mental, emotional, physical, sexual, monetary well-being. Whatever the thing is, it's about your well-being. So in that case, it might be like, hey, I'm not gonna be like, you might turn off your phone or turn off the ringer off your phone after 10 p.m. Like that's a barrier or that's a boundary. I don't want no calls after that. It's about what you are going to do, not what other people are going to do. And I know that people get it mixed up. They think that if I tell you what to do, then that makes it a boundary. I'm like, no, that doesn't make it a boundary. A boundary is about what you are going to do. Like at night, I close and lock my door. That's what I'm going to do to help keep
Yeah.
my home safe. Now, what are you going to do to keep your home, your body, your mental home, your physical form home? What are you going to do to keep that safe?
Totally. You mentioning the phone, turning your phone off is making me think, oh, probably a big place where people run into this is the office and like their boss. And yeah, because that is someone responsible for your livelihood, unfortunately.
hmm And I'm just like, stop answering the phone. Number one, when you do answer the phone, you're creating an expectation that you are always available.
Mm.
And unless you are on call, then you are not on call. So I like to talk to people about what an emergency means. That's
Yeah.
part of how I have the conversation. Like, because I do have therapy clients, and sometimes they feel like they need somebody at all times of the day and or night. And I'm like, you are always welcome to send an email. You are always welcome to send a message in the client portal. You're even welcome to call whenever you want to. I'm not answering the phone, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I work these days, this between this time and this time. If you are having an emergency, and I'm like, let's talk about emergency, dead, dying, or bleeding to death. Those are
Mhm.
emergencies. If you're dead, don't call me. That's weird. Just be dead. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? If you're dying, call 911. They are more equipped and better equipped to help you.
Yeah.
If you're bleeding to death, also don't call me. Put some pressure on that wound and call 911. None of it requires you to call me. Now, if you're feeling suicidal, if you're feeling out of sorts, if you're feeling like you are going to have a mental or nervous breakdown, this is urgent, not emergent. And if it's urgent, then you know exactly what to do. If you're feeling suicidal, call 911 first.
Yeah.
Get somewhere where you can be safe and then call me, and then contact my office rather.
Right.
Right? My assistant will put people directly in contact with me as necessary. Um, because they also know what constitutes an emergency and they also know when I am and am not available.
Yeah.
So this is the conversation I have with everybody, including my family. I'm looking like emergency. This is not. Like
Yeah.
I can't find my cell phone. It's not an emergency.
Also, how did you call me? Yeah.
Right? Like off someone else's phone. But still, it's
Yeah.
like that's not an emergency, beloved. Oh, I really needed to ask you about whether or not you wanted to go to Hershey Park on Saturday. Not an emergency.
Yeah, what a good way, like what a good example to set for your clients, I feel like that to kind of help them see what is okay, boundaries which to put for yourself.
Yeah. And it sets an expectation about my availability to them
Mhm.
while also letting them know that you also have the skills to move on without me.
Yeah.
Like my goal is not to make you dependent upon me. It quite frankly, my goal is to get you out of therapy as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I know that some people don't do it, but I do. I take it seriously. So I'm just like, my goal is not to get to you to 100% where you feel like you 100% have it and can leave. My goal is, are we feeling comfortable with this 70, 75%? Are we feeling
Mhm.
good with this 80%? What would you do to get yourself the rest of the way that you want to go without being in therapy? My
Yeah.
goal is not, I'm not holding you hostage here. My goal is not to keep you.
What like tactics or like coping skills do you give so first people like acknowledge in themselves that they have, and they confront it that they have low self-esteem. And
Yeah.
And then once they do that, what's the next step? Is it like coming up with coping skills? Is it affirmations? Like what are we doing to build that self-esteem?
It's getting a tribe. You need people. We think of self esteem as a solo zero sum game. So, as long as we're thinking of it as you have it or you don't, and if you don't have it, it's your fault. You messed up. It's self esteem. You're supposed to esteem yourself. You messed it up. You got to go try again. I'm looking like no one came to self esteem on their own. They came to self esteem. The self esteem that we have, we came to it with all the people that came before us, with all the people, with all the things that they said and all the things that they did and all the ways that they treated us. That's how we got there, which
Mm.
means that you didn't break it by yourself, which means you can't heal it by yourself. You need people. When you get
Yeah.
your people together, note that not every person that's in the team is going to have the same role. And not everybody who you think should be on the team will be able to be adequate on the team. Some people, they'll have some work that they have to do themselves, and that's okay. It's okay for everybody to have a little bit of work, but it's not okay for somebody to put you down while they're doing theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love the answer of community because I feel like America especially has gotten so individualistic like over the years, and I'm on TikTok and seeing people like wellness for their lives, like, and the wellness is just making them lonelier. And then like going to bed instead of going out and eating dinner with their friends or whatever because they don't want to have the extra calories or whatever it is. Some toxic thought, but and it's like, no, this is
Yeah.
just making you sadder. Like you need community.
Yeah, because people think that mental health is intended to be just protected. And what I love about there's one influencer, Raquel, the capacity expert, which
Mhm.
that's how you can find them on social media. One thing that I love is that she's constantly reiterating that your mental health is actually intended to be used. People are
Yeah,
trying to create these things and keep them at home in the corner alone and keep all people away, protecting it. Like that is, I'm like, your bubble baby won't survive the outside world because it hasn't been exposed to germs. You have to
totally.
build your capacity, right? It's knowing what your limits are, um, understanding what they are, understanding the things that may trigger you, and then working on your triggers so that you can spend more time outside, so that you can spend more time in community. It's not about have your mental health and then hide it in your closet, in your bedroom, behind three locked doors with Uzis and dogs and chain fence and what have you. It's not that. That's not what it's intended for. You're intended to use it to go outside and enjoy people, to enjoy the world around you, to connect with others. Otherwise, all you're doing is creating your own loneliness because you are at a
Yeah.
mental and a physical distance from others because you're trying to protect your mental health. It's cute. It's dumb. It's cute,
Yeah,
but
protect
it's
your
cute.
peace is like the
Yes. Like I'm gonna protect my peace. Stop. Stop.
so when that
Stop.
triggers arise, like when people are doing community, but they get triggered, like how do they deal with that? Like, is there coping mechanisms in place?
I say pause, right? Like I like to pause. Sometimes I'll put my finger up. Sometimes I'll say time out. Sometimes I'll say I need a moment. And depending on how that is showing up in my body, right? Like because sometimes it shows up as like anxiety type stuff. You want to do a grounding exercise. What are three things that you can see, that you can smell, that you can taste, that you can hear? Whatever it is, do whatever you can to ground yourself in the current moment. And then take a reflective moment. What triggered you? What came up for you? Where did you notice it in your body? How uncomfortable does that thing feel on a scale of 0 to 10? 10 being the most uncomfortable. I really need to get out of here. If it is tolerable, if it's not a 10, what else can you do to help get it lower or to address it in the moment? So, but also knowing that other people are not responsible for your triggers.
Yeah.
Your trigger, your responsibility. But it doesn't mean that you can't say that to the people who are in space with you.
Yeah.
So I am a trigger for me is very tight enclosed spaces with a lot of people,
Mm.
which means that I don't always do well on an elevator.
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm feeling particularly heightened, I might turn to somebody and say, I'm feeling very nervous on this elevator right now. I just say it out loud. It
Yeah.
deserves to be spoken out loud. I'm feeling nervous on the elevator. I'm gonna be breathing, just so you know. I don't want you to think I'm going into labor. I'm just
Yeah.
breathing. Right? So, and I will breathe. If I don't feel comfortable telling someone else, then I'm like, okay, get off at the next floor. Whatever
Mm.
the next floor is, just push that button and get off. Take a breath, take a moment. Maybe today is as far as your bravery goes. And it's
Yeah.
okay to note that. Let bitch assness in. That's what I think of it as, like bravery or bitch assness. And there's nothing wrong with a little bitch assness. Bitch assness is about
Yeah.
keeping you safe. It's about keeping you alive. It doesn't always understand that the thing that you're imagining is the threat. That is just in your head. That is not it's not in reality. It's not based in reality. So sometimes what I do is I'll talk myself down. I'm looking like the elevator ride will take this long. If you're
Yeah.
still on the elevator after this amount of time has passed, you get to panic. But until then, we're doing a countdown.
Great. Yeah. And just grounding
Ground
yourself
you
in the
back
moment.
into the moment.
Yeah, that's great. And I love like cuz I love that serves as such a good metaphor too. Like if you think of moments as being on an elevator and like the doors will open eventually, but like how long is it going to take?
Yeah. And know
Wow.
that you are still very likely to be okay. It's okay for
Mhm.
you to wonder. It's okay for you to be scared.
Mhm.
And now you get to make a decision. Will you allow fear to make the choice today? Or will you allow fear to make this choice?
Interesting. Yeah, it and when you're grounding yourself, are you also like I guess would positive self-talk be a are you also like telling yourself like it's gonna be okay? Are you just not lying to yourself in that or you know what I mean? It probably will be okay, but like what are you saying to yourself?
Like, it probably will be okay, but I am not okay right now. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking about me on a plane. That just like you talking about the elevator just started making me think about yeah, I'm terrified of flying when I'm on a plane. And I'm like, how
I
could
didn't
I
used to be, and now I am.
I have to take lorazepam. I'm like that woman from White Lotus.
Lorazepam. What up, Lorazepam?
What yeah. We
But
love
I have a whole conversation with myself. So some of it is a reminder that airplanes, number one, it's in their best, any airplane company, it's in their best interest to get you where you want to go, because this plane costs millions of dollars and you didn't pay
Yeah,
millions of dollars to be on it.
true.
They want to get you off the plane, and expeditiously. They want to get you off. So I'm just like, that's true. They don't
And the
want me to stay
pilots
on
want
this.
to live. Like
Yes, the pilot wants to live, the flight attendants want to live, the other passengers want to live.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, how long is this flight? I set I do the same thing that I do with elevators, the counting down, except this time I just put it on my watch. I'm like, if you're or on my phone, I always give an extra hour buffer because nonsense always ensues.
Yeah.
Or it can ensue. So I was just like, okay, if you're not off the plane by this time, you get to panic. You get to
Mm.
choose one way to panic.
Yeah, which is hard on the plane. You have to choose, like, a quiet way or else they will get you off of there.
Like it doesn't even have to be quiet. I'm just like whatever the thing is, like you want to breathe,
Yeah.
you wanna huff the air. Okay, cool, let's do that. Um, but for me, it's also like, what are the coping skills that you have to help be on the plane? So I created a bunch of stuff, right? Like I do my Sudoku. I bring coloring items so that I can color. I watch back episodes of shows that make me laugh because
That's good.
it removes my mind from the mindset it's currently in into something else entirely, which already is associated with a sense of calmness or pleasure within my body. So I like to watch back episodes of The Nanny.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. And that's usually on flights. So it works
Yeah.
out great.
And like when in doubt, control your own environment as much as you can. So for
Mm,
me, that means that my iPad has my episodes of The Nanny on it. I
yeah.
don't want to rely on the airline to have what I need to calm myself down.
Is
Um,
yeah.
and I keep a list. Oh, I don't have my iPad next to me, but I have a sticker on it that says fear, false evidence appearing real. So if I'm feeling scared, what is the false evidence that appears real?
Wow.
I'm asking myself that question. I'm doing body maps. I have a list of 20 something coping skills that I can employ on the plane.
That's great. What's a body map?
A body map is basically an outline of a body where you will just be like, okay, what are you feeling and where in your body are you feeling it? So I'm
Mm,
like, oh, well, I'm feeling like I can't breathe. Then I might I might draw something that shows that I can't breathe. So like pressure on my chest, clogged throat, height, like might draw like a puff of air, like
yeah.
sort of thing. I might put like, oh, my stomach is feeling queasy, so I might like draw squiggles on my stomach. That my feet
Mm,
feel like on pins and needles, then I might draw a bunch of polka dots all over my hands and feet. And now I'm like, okay, this is a body map of how I'm feeling right
right.
now. Then I go back and I'm like, okay, what feels the worst?
Mm,
And then I ask it to like, I ask that part of my body. I'm like, okay, throat, what are you trying to say? What's going on for you? Why do you feel this way? And then I offer actual evidence because it's probably got some sort of fear based evidence, false evidence. So I'm just like, okay, but what's the truth?
yeah. I've never heard of that coping mechanism before. I love it. Like, that's so great.
I'm pretty sure I got it from my therapist.
We love I always wonder who's, like, the top therapist seeing all the therapists. The pyramid eventually goes to one head therapist that all the therapists are seeing.
There's no period. It is a circle without end.
Yes, circle without end. And so but I have to imagine there are exceptions, like, some triggers, like racism, sexism, what do we do in those instances where it's like, okay, the protect your peace, which is normally, we want community, but there has to be exceptions to that, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't want community with people who can't see my humanity. I
Yeah.
don't want community with people who can't see the fullness of who I am and love that, not tolerate it, but truly accept it. I'm like, if you don't like black people, then why are you talking to me? I'm a black people. Go talk to somebody else. Right? Like, get out of my face. So there are only certain people that I will consider in my community, and I have to feel safe with you, which means I have to be able to be myself in your presence. If I cannot do that, without wondering about my mental, emotional, physical, sexual, etc. safety, then you're not it. You're not in my tribe.
Mm,
The tribe is small.
yeah. And then that probably builds your self-esteem as well, like knowing you can make those choices for yourself.
Yeah. Now, some people, because they feel like they've chosen wrong, now feel like, well, now I can't have self esteem because I chose wrong and the problem is me. And I'm just like, stop it. I want to make sure that you hear me right now. Stop it. We're not doing that. We're not blaming ourselves for the behaviors of other people. You can take accountability, but we're not placing blame.
Yeah.
Sometimes people hide who they really are from you. They lie. They are actually actively outside deceiving you. It is
Mhm.
not your job to go and suss out the truth. It is your job to live yours and experience your truth with what they are presenting as truth. The truth will come out eventually. And if something feels off, you get to leave. That's the power. If they
Yeah.
don't feel right, you get to go. That's the power. You have power in the situation. We're not blaming ourselves for who they are, but we are going to allow ourselves, when we figure out who they are, right? When they tell us who they are, as Maya Angelou said, when people tell you who they are, believe
Believe them.
them. We're going to
Yeah.
believe them. And sometimes you can have a conversation if you feel like you've invested time and energy and you want to see if it's salvageable. But believe them when they told you who they are, and then make a decision for yourself about whether or not who they're telling you they are is something that you are willing to deal with and for how long.
Yeah.
And it's okay if down the line you change your mind and say like, actually, I thought I could deal with this and I realized that with the way that is showing up in this way, I can't do that. But let's be honest and call a spade a spade. We're not blaming ourselves because other people are deceivers and liars and cheaters, but we are taking accountability to know what role we played,
Mm.
and then we can choose what role we would like to play moving forward, especially after we know that they are a liar, a cheater, a deceiver.
Yeah, it's the growth mindset from, like, being a child, like, I
Yep.
love that it all comes back, I love and so once you reach this level of, like, self-esteem, you have it, you're in your community, your triggers, you're, like, separating yourself from when, like, it's harmful. What does your life look like then? Like, you have good sex, you have, like you move around the
I'm sure
world?
you can have good sex on the way. But yeah, it's like better relationships with yourself, with your friends, with your families, with lovers, with others. It's even a better relationship at work, right? You're more likely to achieve at work with better self-esteem. You're more likely to do better in various spaces of your life.
Mm.
But self-esteem is not, it's not a cell phone. You don't hold it. It's not that you finally saved up the money to buy like the iPhone 16 and now you have it and it'll be yours forever. Number one, self-esteem will need to be upgraded over time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you lose it. And that's okay because you have your tribe. And when we're trying to figure it out for ourselves, the people that you've chosen, some of them will have to first serve as validation. So
Mm.
they will tell you that you are great even when you don't feel it. They will tell you. And then one day you'll notice that it switches over from validation to confirmation.
I love that. And so before we get into send it to the sewers, do you have any like lasting advice for people who might be struggling and just like not sure where to start?
Get the book.
I love
That's
that.
my advice. Get the book. Go to a library if you can't afford to buy it. Libraries are delightful because they're little free spaces that you're already paying for with your tax dollars. So go get it from the library. If it's not at your library, request that they get it, so that you can get this book. Otherwise, a good starting space is to know what self esteem is. So I would say define it and then define it for yourself. And then I like to tell people to forecast your mind forward. Think 5 years from now, that diva, that version of you has self esteem. Tell me about them. What is everything that you know about them? And then once you feel like you have a handle on who they are and because they're you in the future,
Yeah.
ask them how they did it. Just ask your future self how they did it. Let
I
them tell you the secret because the chances are you already know what you need to do. You asking someone else because you don't want to take accountability.
I
You don't
love
want to
that.
take responsibility. We want to be able to say, I tried what you said and it didn't work. When in reality, the person that has all the secrets is you. I
I
have an answer. I don't have the answer.
I think that's so great. One of the best things I ever did for my self-esteem was, like, write a letter from myself in the future, like, because I was really struggling, and it was like, "This is what you have in the future, this is how you get there," and, I think that's cute, great advice. You're such an expert, and you're, like, so easy to talk to and so knowledgeable. I'm super excited for people to check out your book and, learn. It's funny, people I feel like try to fix these parts of their life without realizing the root is self-esteem. And so, I think it's like start at the root and then watch your sex life get better, watch your work life get better.
Yeah. And sometimes your competence can increase your confidence, but that's
Mm.
not the same thing as increasing your self esteem or securing your self esteem because those things are still they're still grounded in what you can do for others, right?
Yeah,
So you feel worth less without some of those things, and I don't want to get that piece mixed up. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself, how you esteem yourself, how you look at yourself. Like how do you hold others in esteem? It's doing that for yourself.
yeah,
And that self-confidence is not the same thing as self-esteem. So trying to remind people that like these are separate concepts that are related. They're like a part of the same family, but they're not the same person. They
gotcha.
might look alike, but they're not alike.
I would have just put them under the same category. I didn't know that.
Yeah, look, because we talk about them interchangeably.
Mhm.
Self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth. Self-worth is how we see our worth, usually relative to others. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself, and self-confidence is whether or not you feel confident in yourself. But confidence is often related to your competence. So how well you think you can do something. So I am confident that I am a quick reader. I'm confident that I know how to not burn down the house when I'm cooking. And I'm confident that I can water a plant properly, right? Like I'm confident in these things. And that confidence can add into my self esteem. It
Mm,
can be a part of what ultimately is there, but it's not the whole thing
yeah,
because it's not just about what we do that makes us worthy human beings,
right.
right? And for too many of us, whether or not we have stuff becomes whether or not we're worth something. And I'm like, you people can have less, but they're not worth less. It's not the same thing. And when
Totally.
we equate them, we do ourselves a disservice. We change ourselves into a being of monetary value as opposed to of inherent value.
Yeah, like we are born with
Like you
value.
just exactly. Simply because you are. There's
Yeah.
nothing else to that sentence. You are. Because you are also the shit. Now, whether or not you believe it, when I say it, that's your business. I said you're the shit. If you didn't believe that you're the shit, then now that's where you know that you got some work to do.
Gotcha. I love it. I think I'm so excited for people to read your book and to listen to this episode. I feel like they're going to. I feel like I learned so much talking to you, and I'm like, I'm gonna go start looking up fragile self-esteem and to look into that and why people please. And I can't wait to get into everything. So thank you so much for sharing with us.
You're so welcome.
Well, so to get it into send it to the sewers, this is the segment of the week where we rant about something from the week. Would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
Yes, you go first.
I
I
am
want to see a master at
a
work.
master at work. I'm sending to the sewers these freaking fruit flies in my home. I have hundreds of them. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, am I dirty? Like, what am I living a bad way? Like, am I? And I cleaned out my fridge. I cleaned out my, pantry. I'm like, I don't know where these guys could be coming from, but they are infiltrating my home and ruining my life. As I've been talking to you, I had three fly at my face. And I'm like, what is happening? Is this LA? Is it me? Is it my dog? Do they have something? Like, what is going on here?
That would be frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah. I got
Usually when I have like those little flies all around, it's because I underwatered or overwatered a plant.
and we don't have plants in our home. I killed all of them. So I'm like, "Where are you coming from?"
May they rest in peace.
May they like RIP. The fiddle leaf figs were a bad first plant for me to get. They're too much work.
I would say go for pothos. Go for
That's what I need.
pothos.
I need easy. I need like I need a cacti. I need something easy. But yeah, I don't know where they're coming from. We had guys come and look at
Okay,
our sink, at our
can't keep.
dishwasher. Like I feel very I got like something called Ziva, or maybe it's like a little blue light that they can fly to and stick
Oh,
to. And it works so well, and I there's, like, 50 on the light, and I like, my husband makes fun of me because 'cause I'm every day checking, be like, "How many did we get today?" Like, I'm turning into a sociopath because I'm like, "I need these guys to die."
I've definitely got one of those. As a matter of fact, I think we have 3 or 4 of those all plugged in right now. 'Tis the season, so
That's the other thing, I'm like, maybe it's just the season of bugs.
yeah, 'tis the season. Oh, what am I sending to
Yeah,
the
what are you
sewers?
sending?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. To the sewers, to those people who are saying down with immigrants. I don't understand it. Who are saying get out. I'm just like, come on now. Number one, who's an immigrant on stolen land? Let's be so
Yes,
real. Let's be so for real. And as long as we keep doing this every man for themselves sort of mentality, then we are doomed to repeat the mistakes of others, and we are never going to get where we're actually trying to go. So it's easy for people to say down with them because they're not you. But I'm just like, you know what? Everybody becomes the object of persecution when you allow other people to constantly be the object of persecution. I'm like, if they got rid of everybody and it was just you, don't you know that they don't like you either? Like,
yeah. It's what you're
gosh,
talking about, the community aspect. I feel like people have forgotten that we are meant to have community, we're meant to have empathy. Like, I feel like we're in such an empathy-less in country right now.
yeah, people don't know how to be in space with other people. As long as we're thinking that we have to have one up on somebody. And I think that for me, this is a self-esteem problem. If you're looking at yourself as worth relative to others, and you believe that someone is acting above where you feel like they should be based off their gender, their race, their sexuality, whether or not they're cis or trans, whether or not they're LGBTQIA or not. Like, if all of these are the things that you're using to designate your own worth,
Mhm.
then I already know that you don't feel it, which means you have to fake it. And that means that the only way that you feel of worth is when someone else is beneath you. And if that is what it takes, then that means you don't actually have secure self esteem. It's
Totally.
fragile as fuck. And
Yeah.
quite frankly, get some help. Like, get some help yesterday. Get some help 3 weeks ago
Yeah.
because
I
there's no need for this.
it I'm constantly talking about, like, the male loneliness epidemic and how I'm just like, I feel like they did it to themselves, and, like but it is interesting because I feel like, um, the the individualistic society that we live in now, like the self-help books, the like, you can do this, you can pull yourself up by the bootstraps, whatever, you can find it's just making everyone so lonely and so by themselves. And they don't realize like what fixes that is caring about other people.
Yeah, I'm like, I literally did a video not too long ago saying that the male loneliness epidemic does not exist.
It doesn't. It does
It was,
not.
it was a choice of power. If you choose power over people, and those people then subsequently say we don't want to be in relationship with you because being in relationship with you is harmful to me, then that means, and you didn't let go of the power so that you could have the people, you chose to be lonely. It doesn't exist without the consistent pursuit of power in that way. And the same thing goes for white folk.
Mhm.
If you're choosing the power of the white supremacist delusion and you're out of sync and out of company with everybody else, you chose power. That's why you're by yourself.
Totally. Yeah, it's
So
like
if that doesn't work, try something else because the definition of insanity is doing the same shit, hoping for different results. You're not going
yeah.
to get different results by saying, I'm still better than you. No one wants to be in community with you.
Yeah, no, totally. Like you have to match where people are at. Like you can't like it feels like people are wanting to just be the same and expected to like have everyone who's now maybe discovered their own self-esteem or whatever and like we're not going to be like around that energy anymore. They're like, "Well, I'm not going to change. I'm set in my ways." It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's like do better.
Do better.
And do better. Like when you know better, you have an opportunity to do better. And it's time to start asking ourselves why we're not taking the opportunity to do better.
Mhm.
Why we've decided that we are willing to stop where exactly where we are at whatever level of development, and say that we are what finished in our final form. Like if this is your final form, I think you can do better. I
Yeah,
think you can do better.
you can grow. That's when we learn from the beginning, you can grow. Like you can get there. You
Yeah.
don't you don't have to be. This isn't like
And quite frankly, if you are in that fixed mindset, that's scary to me.
yeah.
Like if you don't think that you have anything to learn, if you don't think there's anywhere for you to go with growth, that there's no better you can get. You feel like you are the absolute best and people don't want to be around you. I guarantee you that there is more that you can do you're choosing not to do.
Yeah.
That maybe you're scared of doing. Maybe you don't know what the next step is to do. But this can't be your final form. Otherwise, this is a failure. Not only your failure, but your your community's failure too. So the people who raised you, who liked you, who loved you, you basically said they failed too, and I think that that's unfair.
Yeah. It's like they're a level 1 Pokemon and like refusing to level up.
Yeah,
And it's
like
like,
level up, baby.
don't you want to be in your best form? Don't you? I don't even know. I don't know why Pokemon was
Like
where I went,
you
but
want
like
to
'cause
be
I
Charmander
yeah.
forever? You don't want to be
Yeah.
Charizard?
Yeah, get to Charizard. Like, what are we doing here? Like, well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thank you for all your insights and sorry for all the technical difficulties. But I'm so happy that I had you on and I really learned things I've never heard before. So I'm like so excited to read your book and like and dive into everything.
Please do. Let me know what you think after you read
I'm
it.
I'm so excited. And audience, fail friends, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Donna Oriowo. You can find the book at drinkwaterbook.com. That and all the book like activities that are going on.
I love it. And thank you so much for coming on the pod, everyone. Check out Donna and we'll see you next week. Bye.